The painful truth is this: you did not go silent because you stopped caring. You went silent because caring had started costing you your dignity. You were tired of being the one who always reached out, tired of wondering why her replies became shorter, tired of checking your phone, hoping the woman who once seemed so interested would suddenly become warm again, tired of explaining yourself to someone who was no longer trying to understand. But when you finally stop texting, stop chasing, and stop filling every quiet moment with your anxiety, something changes. First inside you, then sometimes inside her. And what happens next is not always what you expect. She may not call immediately. She may not send a long apology. She may not suddenly admit that she misses you. In fact, at first, she may act even colder. But that does not mean your silence has no effect. It means reality has finally been given room to speak. Because until now, she may never have experienced what losing you actually feels like. Every time she pulled away, you moved closer. Every time she became uncertain, you offered more reassurance. Every time she created silence, you filled it. Every time she gave less, you worked harder to hold the connection together. So even when she was emotionally distant, she still had your attention. She still had your concern. She still had your loyalty waiting in the background. She could step away without fully losing access to you. Then one day you stop, no dramatic goodbye, no angry paragraph, no attempt to make her feel guilty. You simply stop participating in your own confusion. And that is when the dynamic changes. Not because silence is magic, not because every woman returns, not because ignoring someone controls their emotions. It changes because access has consequences. When your presence is always available, it can become easy to overlook. When your attention is guaranteed, it can start feeling ordinary. When your patience has no limit, it can be taken for granted. But when you finally withdraw your energy, there is contrast. Now, she has to experience the difference between having you and not having you. And contrast can reveal value in a way explanations never could. This is why your silence may begin to occupy her mind, not because you forced yourself into it. Because the pattern she became used to is gone. She may expect the morning message. It does not arrive. She may post something, expecting you to view it quickly. You do not. She may become distant, expecting you to ask what is wrong. You stay quiet. She may assume that one small signal will bring you running back. Nothing happens. For the first time, her actions are no longer being rewarded with your desperation. That can create curiosity. But listen carefully. Curiosity is not commitment. A woman wondering where you went does not automatically mean she is ready for a healthy relationship. A story view does not mean she has changed. A small message does not mean she understands what went wrong. Do not turn the first sign into a fantasy. That is where many men lose all the strength they work to rebuild. They remain silent for a week. They start sleeping better. Their mind begins to settle. Then she likes an old post, and suddenly they abandon every lesson. They think she misses me. They send a message. She responds casually. Now they are waiting again, checking again, analyzing again, losing peace again. Do not confuse a knock on the door with someone being ready to come inside responsibly. A small message is not a full return. A hey is not accountability, and I miss you is not change behavior. A late night text is not emotional maturity. A story view is not love. A woman touching the door is not the same as walking through it with clarity. Your job is not to become cold. Your job is to become observant, because when you finally go silent, several things may happen inside her. She may feel relief at first. That is difficult for a heartbroken man to hear, but it is important. If the relationship had become heavy, if every conversation turned into pressure, if you were chasing while she was pulling away, your silence may initially feel like space. Let her have it. Do not panic because she appears fine. Do not assume her first reaction is her final realization. People often feel immediate relief when pressure disappears. But relief and emotional resolution are not the same thing. After the pressure fades, reality remains. That is when she may start noticing what is missing: your messages, your effort, your emotional availability, your patience, your support. The man who is always there. Not everything valuable is appreciated while it is present. Sometimes absence creates the first honest measurement, but you cannot control whether that happens, and you should not spend your days watching for evidence. Because if you are silent on the outside but checking her constantly, you have not taken your power back. You are still chasing without sending words. If you check every story, you are still emotionally reaching. If you ask mutual friends about her, you are still emotionally reaching. If every post is designed to make her jealous, you are still emotionally reaching. If you count how many days it has been and ask when she will break, you are still emotionally reaching. Real silence is not just removing your messages, it is removing your attention from the cycle. That is the part that transforms you. Your attention is your power. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. If your attention stays on her silence, your energy feeds anxiety. If your attention stays on her social media, your energy feeds comparison. If your attention stays on whether she regrets losing you, your energy feeds fantasy. But when your attention returns to your body, your work, your money, your sleep, your discipline, your faith, and your future, your energy starts building something. Take it back. Your body needs you. Your work needs you. Your money needs you. Your sleep needs you. Your future needs you. Stop giving your strongest energy to someone who is giving you uncertainty. That is not hatred. That is self respect. A man does not regain power by chasing harder. He regains power by controlling himself when everything inside him wants to react. That is the real test. Can you put your phone down when your hand wants to text? Can you let a question remain unanswered without sending another paragraph? Can you feel rejected without trying to prove your worth? Can you miss her without making missing her an excuse to abandon your standards? That is emotional control. And emotional control is more powerful than emotional reaction because reaction makes you predictable. She becomes cold, you chase. She becomes distant, you panic. She ignores you, you explain. She returns slightly, you give her everything. When someone knows exactly how to move your emotions, your presence loses stability. But when you become calm, the old pattern stops working. She pulls away and you observe. She becomes unclear and you stop over investing. She gives less and you do not compensate by giving more. She creates distance and you let distance reveal the truth. That does not guarantee she returns. It guarantees you stop becoming smaller. Now imagine a man sitting awake at 1 in the morning. His phone is in his hand. He has already opened her conversation 3 times. He types, I just want to understand what happened. Then he deletes it. He types, I hope you are doing okay. Deal is that too. Then he starts writing a long paragraph about how much he cared, how confused he feels, and how he believes they can still fix things. But deep down, he is not looking for understanding. He is looking for relief. He wants a reply that tells him he still matters. He wants one soft sentence to calm his nervous system. That is why he should not send it. Because when your message is secretly asking another person to regulate your emotions, you are not communicating from strength. You are asking for medicine. And if she does not reply, the pain becomes worse. If she replies coldly, the pain becomes worse. If she replies warmly but remains unclear, the confusion becomes worse. So, what does the disciplined man do? He admits the truth. I want to text because I feel anxious. Then he does not let anxiety lead. He writes what he feels privately. He puts the phone away. He walks. He drinks water. He prays if faith is part of his life. He trains the next morning. He lets the emotional wave rise and fall without obeying it. Pain can be felt without being followed. You can miss her and still not text. You can care and still not chase. You can want closure and still recognize that another conversation may only reopen the wound. You can feel lonely and still keep your standards. That is strength. Now, after you remain silent, she may begin revisiting memories. This does not always happen immediately. Memory often becomes louder when new distractions become ordinary. At first, she may stay busy. She may spend more time with friends. She may post more. She may enjoy attention from other people. She may act as if the connection meant less than you believed. Do not chase that image. You do not know what happens behind a post. You do not know what she feels when the room becomes quiet. You do not know whether she remembers your voice, your patience, your jokes, or the way you supported her. And you do not need to know. Your healing cannot depend on private emotions you cannot see. But understand why memories may return. Human beings connect memories to feelings, places, routines, music, conversations, and certain moments of the day. When the relationship ends, those triggers do not disappear immediately. A place may remind her of you. A difficult day may remind her of how you supported her. Another conversation may remind her of how deeply you listened. Someone else's inconsistency may remind her of your steadiness. The absence of your message may remind her how normal your effort once felt. This is not a promise that she will regret leaving. It is simply how emotional contrast can work. But your role is not to create artificial reminders. Do not send old photos. Do not post coded messages. Do not use mutual friends. Do not create jealousy. Let memories belong to reality. Anything forced becomes pressure. Anything real can breathe on its own. Another thing may happen when you finally go silent. She may question whether she still has access to you. This is not always love. Sometimes it is ego. Sometimes a person does not want the relationship, but still wants reassurance that they could have your attention whenever they wanted. Your silence removes that reassurance. That may cause her to test the door. She might send something small. Hey, I saw something that reminded me of you. I hope you're doing well. Did you ever finish that project? Can I ask you something? These messages may be genuine. They may also be curiosity. You do not need to become suspicious or rude. You simply stay grounded. If she says, hey, you can reply, hey, hope you're doing well. Then let her show why she reached out. Do not carry the conversation alone. Do not turn one word into 20 questions. Do not immediately ask whether she misses you. Let clarity come from her effort. If she says, I miss you, you can say, I hear you. What made you reach out? If she says, I've been thinking about us, you can say, I understand. What do you want to do with that? If she says, can we talk? You could say, we can talk, but I am not rushing back into anything. Those responses are not tricks, they are boundaries. They keep you open without becoming desperate. They allow conversation without handing back unlimited access. They make space for truth because a real return can handle a calm pace. A fake return often disappears when immediate reassurance is not available. If she only wanted to know that you were still waiting, your stability may frustrate her. Let it. You do not exist to provide emotional proof on demand. If she genuinely wants to repair something, she can communicate clearly. Now, she may also become colder after you go silent. That confuses many men. They assume if she cared, she would become softer. But people respond to loss differently. Some become emotional, some become curious, some become defensive, some act colder because admitting regret feels vulnerable. Some increase their social activity because sitting quietly would make them feel too much. Some tell themselves a harder story because it is easier than facing their contribution to the ending. Do not diagnose her behavior. Do not assume coldness means secret obsession. Do not assume happiness means complete indifference. Do not build theories around every action. Take behavior at face value. If she is cold, give her space. If she is clear, listen. If she is confusing, protect your peace. A mature man does not chase hidden meanings, he responds to clear effort. That will save you from months of overthinking. Now, there is another truth you may not want to hear. She may never return. She may never admit regret. She may not contact you. She may decide that the relationship should remain over. And no contact must be strong enough to survive that possibility. Because if your silence only works when she returns, it is not self respect. It is a transaction. You're saying, I will stay quiet so you reward me with attention. That is still chasing. Real no contact says, I accept that I cannot control your decision, but I will no longer destroy myself trying to change it. That is freedom. The highest result of silence is not her message, it is your peace. Can you wake up without checking whether she contacted you? Can you work without reopening her profile? Can you train without imagining whether she will notice your body changing? Can you make money without turning success into revenge? Can you rebuild because your future deserves it, not because you want her to regret losing you? That is when you are truly getting yourself back. Now, here is your 7 day reset for 7 days. Do not message her first. Do not check her stories. Do not ask mutual friends about her. Do not post to get her attention. Do not make emotional decisions at night. Do not reread old messages until your chest hurts. Do not look for hidden signs. Put that energy into training, work, money, sleep, discipline, faith, emotional control, and rebuilding your identity. Train your body even when your mind feels heavy. Clean your space even when your emotions feel disorganized. Fix your sleeping pattern because exhausted men make emotional decisions. Eat properly because heartbreak can drain your physical strength. Walk when the urge to check her profile becomes strong. Drop the message privately, but do not send it from panic. Put your phone away before midnight. Plan the next morning before you go to sleep. Give your mind a new direction. The purpose is not to pretend you stopped caring. The purpose is to prove that caring does not require self destruction. Every time you resist checking, you rebuild control. Every time you refuse to beg, you rebuild dignity. Every time you keep your routine while hurting, you rebuild self trust. Confidence does not come from telling yourself you are powerful. Confidence comes from watching yourself keep promises under pressure. You said you would stop chasing. Keep the promise. You said you would protect your peace. Keep the promise. You said you would not accept confusion as love. Keep the promise. That is how a man becomes solid, and a solid man is not easily pulled back into the same chaos. Now, while you are rebuilding, do not perform your growth. Do not train only so she notices. Do not post money to make her regret leaving. Do not surround yourself with people just to create jealousy. Do not act happier than you are. You do not need an audience. Growth that requires her reaction is still controlled by her. Real growth improves your life even if she never sees it. Train because your body deserves strength. Work because your future needs options. Build money because financial discipline changes how a man carries himself. Fix your routine because chaos makes heartbreak louder. Strengthen your faith or inner values because your peace needs something deeper than attention. Develop emotional control because the next relationship deserves a healthier version of you. That is how pain becomes useful, not by making you bitter. By making you disciplined, you may have lost a relationship. Do not also lose your direction. You may have lost her attention. Do not also lose your standards. You may have lost the future you imagined. Do not also lose the future you can still build. That is the transformation. And if she sees you later, she should not see a performance built for her eyes. She should see a man who returned to his own life. A man whose body is stronger because he kept training. A man whose work improved because he stopped wasting hours checking the screen. A man whose confidence is quieter because it no longer needs constant validation. A man whose standards are clearer because pain finally taught him where he betrayed himself. That man is different. He is not different because he became cold. He is different because he became responsible for himself. Now, imagine she contacts him months later. She says, I've been thinking about you. The old version would feel immediate relief. He would rush. He would explain how much he missed her. He would treat contact as proof of reconciliation. The new version listens. He stays respectful, but he does not become intoxicated by words. He asks what changed. He watches effort. He observes whether she takes responsibility. He notices whether her behavior remains consistent after the emotion passes. Because words are easy during loneliness, consistency is harder. An apology may be sincere, but trust still needs time. Missing you does not automatically mean she is ready to treat you well. Regret does not automatically create maturity. A person can miss your presence and still repeat the same behavior. That is why you move slowly. If she comes back with clarity, you listen. If she comes back with accountability, you observe. If she comes back with consistent effort, trust may be rebuilt carefully. But if she returns with confusion, you step back. If she says, I miss you, but I do not know what I want, do not become her emotional waiting room. If she wants comfort without commitment, do not provide relationship level access. If she reaches out at night but disappears during the day, do not chase the next message. If she wants to know whether you are still available but refuses to discuss what happened, protect your peace. Maybe can have space, maybe can have observation, maybe does not get your whole heart. That is not punishment, that is wisdom. And if she is involved with someone else, your boundary must be clear. Do not become the secret conversation. Do not become the man she reaches for when another relationship disappoints her. Do not offer emotional loyalty while she gives her commitment somewhere else. You can say, I understand, but I am not going to be involved while you are with someone else. No anger, no competition, no triangle. A man with standards does not wait in the shadows to be selected. He stands in clarity or walks away. That is self respect. Now ask yourself the uncomfortable question. Do you want her back because she was truly good for your peace? Or do you want her back because her return would repair the wound of rejection? Do you miss her character, or do you miss the feeling of being chosen? Do you want a healthy relationship, or do you want proof that you were valuable? Those are not the same things. Sometimes a man does not actually want the relationship back. He wants the rejection reversed. He wants the person who walked away to return and confirm that he mattered. He wants his ego repaired. But if you need her return to feel valuable, your value is still in her hands. Healing begins when you can say, if she returns with clarity, I will decide from strength. If she does not, I will still build a meaningful life. That is freedom. Freedom is not pretending you never cared. Freedom is caring without being controlled. Freedom is remembering without reopening the wound every night. Freedom is being willing to love again without becoming willing to abandon yourself again. Do not let heartbreak poison you. Do not become cruel. Do not decide that every woman will treat you the same. Do not turn one painful connection into a lifelong excuse to stay emotionally closed. That is not strength. That is unhealed pain wearing armor. A mature man learns the lesson without destroying his ability to love. He says, I will not chase confusion again. He does not say, I will never care again. He says, I will protect my peace. He does not say, everyone is untrustworthy. He says, I will move slower, observe behavior, and respect my standards. That is growth. You can remain warm and still have boundaries. You can remain loyal and still require reciprocity. You can forgive and still refuse to repeat the same cycle. You can love deeply without losing yourself. That is the man this pain is asking you to become. So tonight, when you feel the urge to break your silence, do not ask, will this make her miss me? Ask, will I respect myself after I do this? When you want to check her story, do not ask what she is doing. Ask why you are volunteering for information that damages your peace. When you want closure, ask whether you want understanding or whether you are secretly hoping the conversation becomes another chance. Tell yourself the truth. Truth creates control. Control creates dignity. Dignity creates peace. And peace is the part of you that no breakup should be allowed to keep forever. When you finally go silent, she may become curious. She may remember. She may become defensive. She may test the door. She may reach out. She may realize what she took for granted, or she may remain gone. But something more important happens. You stop begging. You stop checking. You stop performing. You stop making her silence louder than your purpose. You stop disappearing from your own life. You return to your body. You return to your work. You return to your discipline. You return to your faith. You return to your standards. You return to yourself. That is what no contact is supposed to do. Not turn you into a manipulator, turn you into a man who can stand without being held together by another person's attention. If she comes back, meet her with calm. If she apologizes, observe her behavior. If she brings clarity, listen. If she brings confusion, step back. If she never returns, continue walking, because the deepest truth is this: when you finally go silent, the most important thing that happens is not what happens to her, it is what stops happening to you. You stop destroying your peace for someone who chose distance, and in the next video, you will learn the quiet signs her return is genuine, and the warning signs she only came back to see whether the old version of you is still waiting.